ILM, 6 à Lambangny, près de la station TMU. FIM FM 95.3, Newsmag, le magazine du décryptage de l'actualité de la semaine en langue anglaise. Newsmag avec Ousmane Kamara, Aïssatou Diallo et Mamadou Ribari.
Friday, and it's great to be back again in the studios of 95.3. My humble self, Diallo Aïssatou. Good afternoon, Bill.
Good afternoon, Aïssatou. It's a freaky and funky Friday, and of course, to God be the glory.
Freaky and funky Friday.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks very much, Bill. In the studios this afternoon, we have Mr. Pascal. And Bill, we've been listening to this ELM all this while in Newsmark for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And we are happy to get ELM in the studios today.
Yeah.
And his ELM is being represented by Mr. Pascal. Mr. Pascal is a librarian by birth. And he is the Director of Studies and a teacher at the Institute of Languages and Trade, ELM, as we call it in French. Good afternoon, Mr. Pascal, and welcome to Newsmark.
Thank you so much, Aïssatou, and it's a pleasure to be here in studio.
And with him, we will discuss a range of topics related to teaching English, language, learning, and of course, education. Remember the two rays on the technical side. Ladies and gentlemen, a break, and when we come back, the local news. Station with us.
Newsmag, une coproduction de FIM FM et du Centre d'apprentissage de la langue anglaise, ILM, 6 à Lambangny, près de la station TMI. Newsmag, le round-up.
Newsmag, the roundup, Bill, the headlines.
Exactly, Aïssatou. At first sight, Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya rebuked his ministers. The president of the transition is not pleased with the large number of ministers attending official events.
Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya expressed his dissatisfaction on Thursday, October 12, during the Council of Ministers. He asked the government members to adopt a better approach. The president lamented the frequency of events that require the presence of all government members, revealed Ousmane Gawal Diallo. The government spokesperson, Mamadi Doumbouya, also called for planning that would optimize the minister's travel and allow the prime minister not to be systematically present at every event to which he is invited. He is requesting better organization of the events in which ministers are asked to participate. He has urged the ministers to keep in mind that it is taxpayers' money that funds all these activities, explained Ousmane Gawal Diallo during the regular ministerial council briefing.
War between Hamas and Israel. Conakry's position, the war between Hamas and Israel is a matter of concern for the international community.
Following the Hamas attack in an operation called Operation Deluge, the Israeli ministry launched a counter-offensive in the Gaza Strip, which has become the target of widespread bombings. The resurgence of tensions in the Middle East, while the war in Ukraine remains another concern for the international community, raises questions about the stance of Guinean authorities on these conflicts. And on Thursday, October 12, the Minister of Foreign Affairs conveyed Conakry's position. Dr. Maurice Tanda Kouyaté stated that war is not the solution. The world does not need war, even if some of our organizations believe that conflicts are the best solution. What is happening right now should make every people and every country realize that problem solving occurs around the table, not through war. And this is what Colonel Doumbouya emphasized at the United Nations podium, said the Guinean foreign minister.
Otherwise, Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya appoints ambassadors to Japan and Brazil.
In a decree published this evening on RTG, the transitional president has made the appointment of 2 ambassadors, and they are as follows: extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador to Japan, Mr. Moussa Fanta Kamara, previously the chargé des affaires at the Embassy of the Republic of Guinea in Japan; extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador to the Federative Republic of Brazil, Mr. Ibrahim Kuruma, formerly responsible for social, humanitarian, and cultural affairs at the permanent mission of the Republic of Guinea to the United Nations in New York.
Meanwhile, good news for Guineans who have been stuck in Niger for several months. On the evening of Thursday, October 12, 2023, the repatriation of our compatriots stranded in Niger is set to resume.
The director of Guineans Established Abroad has confirmed this information, and according to Mamadou Satiu Bari, last night's flight was scheduled to carry 100 Guineans, and it is expected to land around 3 p.m. These repatriation operations, which are in line with the wishes of the president of the transition are being executed with the utmost professionalism by Dr. Maurice Kouyaté, the head of the Guinean diplomacy.
At the same time, we have some words on mind. Simandou, Rio Tinto pours $100 million into WCS.
And according to our information, Rio Tinto has indeed transferred a sum of $100 million to the winning consortium Simandou WCS a few days ago. And this amount represents their share of the financing for the Simandou infrastructure development project. It should be noted that according to a source close to the matter, the winning consortium Simandou has already invested $1.9 billion in the railway and port infrastructure of the Simandou project, with the overall financing to be split evenly between the Singaporean group and Rio Tinto.
Definitely, African Oil Week in South Africa, SONAP's General Director Amadou Doumbia draws attention and receives inquiries from global oil companies.
The national oil companies participating in the Africa Oil Week conference, an international gathering for the African oil and gas sector, taking place in Cape Town, South Africa, from October 9 to 13, 2023. On Tuesday, October 10, in front of governments, national and international oil companies, independents as well as investors from around the world, Mr. Amadou Doumbia, Director General of SONAP, took the stage to present investment opportunities in the Guinean oil sector to this influential assembly. Amadou Doumbia, leading a strong delegation from the national oil company, highlighted unparalleled investment prospects that are driving interest and investment in Guinea. From the podium, Mr. Doumbia shed light on the country's promising oil projects and Guinea's role in the energy security and sustainability of Africa.
And now some sports news. CAN Ivory Coast 2023, Guinea placed in the same group as Senegal, Cameroon and Gambia.
The Confederation of African Football CAF carried out this Thursday, October 12, 2023 in Ivory Coast the draw for the African Cup of Nations, the CAN Ivory Coast 2023. As might be expected, Guinea is placed in a very tough group, as in 2021 Guinea shares the same pool as Senegal. However, they are accompanied by another co-source of African football, Cameroon.
And have some African stories. Opposition candidate Bokeh takes early lead in Liberian presidential election results.
Liberia's National Election Commission on Wednesday commenced the announcement of results of the presidential elections held on Tuesday. Former Vice President Joseph Boakai of the Unity Party took an early lead in the first set of official results announced by the chairperson of the commission.
Nigeria is grappling with a devastating diphtheria outbreak that has claimed the lives of more than 600 people, primarily children, since its onset in December 2022. This recent outbreak surpasses the 2011 incident, which reported a mere 98 cases.
Kano State, located in the northern region, has become the epicenter of this health crisis, bearing the brunt of the outbreak with over 500 recorded fatalities. However, there is a glimmer of hope as the number of active cases has recently declined. Diphtheria is a highly contagious disease that primarily affects the nose and throat and can also lead to skin ulcers. It spreads through coughs, sneezes, and close contact with infected individuals, with severe cases often proving fatal.
That's why UN ambassador in Niger ordered to leave Niamey within 72 hours.
The United Nations representative in Niger has been given 72 hours starting from Tuesday, October 10, 2023 to leave Niamey, and this ultimatum comes from the National Council for the Safeguard of the Homeland, the junta in power in Niger, led by General Abdurrahmani Tiani. In a letter sent to the United Nations, the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs presents this measure as a reciprocal response to the obstacles created by the UN Secretary General preventing Niger's participation in various meetings, including the 78th General Assembly of the institution, the General Conference of the IAEA, and the Congress of the Universal Postal Union. Niamey accuses Antonio Guterres of engaging in a sabotage logic obedient to France's agenda.
Now, some international stories. France's Interior Minister has banned all pro-Palestinian demonstration in the country.
In a statement, Gerald Damanin ordered foreign nationals who break the rules to be systematically deported, and the move comes as European governments theorize rise in anti-Semitism triggered by the Israel-Hamas war. On Thursday, German police broke up a pro-Palestinian demonstration in Berlin. France has a Jewish community of almost 500,000, the biggest in Europe, and France's Muslim community is also among Europe's largest, an estimated 5 million. In a video address, President Emmanuel Macron urged the French people to stay united, saying, let's not add national divisions to international divisions. He said that 13 French citizens had died in the Hamas attack on Israelis on Saturday, and of the 17 others missing were 4 children. Dear listeners, stay tuned for the second part of the program, Décryptage, right after the break.
Newsmag, une coproduction de FIM FM et du Centre d'apprentissage de la langue anglaise ILM, 6 à Lambogny, près de la station TMI. Newsmag, décryptage.
Let's come back to the second part of Newsmark, Décryptage for you, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we always hear about ELM. You're okay, Bill? ELM.
Always ELM, because, it's the institution whereby, you can go and learn English and further your English. So
Okay. And of course, today in the studios, we have Mr. Pascal. Mr. Pascal is a librarian by birth, a graduate of the University of the People in Business Administration. He serves as the Assistant Director of Studies Affairs and teacher at the Institute of Languages and Trade, ELM. And with him today, we will discuss a range of topics related to teaching English, language, and education. First of all, once again, good afternoon, Mr. Pascal.
Good afternoon, Asa too.
Okay, the first question we would like to ask you is, can you just tell us about the mission and the goals of your institution when it comes to learning English?
IIM goal is to provide accessible and quality English language training to any person available. Our goal is to create the necessary facilities needed to enhance our students' English language capabilities.
Okay. What unique methods or approaches does your institution use to make learning English engaging and effective?
IIM is a diverse and inclusive institution that uses different methods and different approaches to enhance quality teaching. For example, kids are taught with a specialized program that makes English language efficient and fun. Youths and adults are given the opportunities to learn in groups. And we also have the proficiency level that is structured into 3 different categories.
Okay.
And we also use a method that enable our students to work independently on research topics relating to advanced English, grammar, for example, vocabulary, pronunciation, and reading comprehension.
Okay, Bill, a question?
yeah, I would like to know, for instance, what is the age level of your student, for instance?
Okay, basically, we have people from different age group, and during the vacation we have people from maybe the teens and upward. But during normal sections we have people who are day students, for example 18, 25 to 35, 50 years old and above.
Okay, so what type of English courses and resources do you offer to students?
IIM has a specialized English program that is basically grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, and reading comprehension. And apart from those specialized programs, we also have few numbers of other programs that are also taught in English. For example, computer science, financial and managerial accounting, micro and microeconomics. We also teach entrepreneurship at both national and international perspective.
Okay.
We also teach marketing and finance.
Okay, so can you just describe the qualification and the experience of your teaching staff?
Okay, good. We have numbers of teachers from different countries. We have teachers from Liberia, Ghana, and respectively Guinea.
Okay.
And all of the teachers are degree holders in different fields who have also taught in Ghana at other English institute. And we all have close to 5 to 6 years of teaching experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in Guinea today, we have this problem. Like you visit some schools, like the teachers teaching English, they just go to institutions, learn, and then come back to teach English. What do you have to say on that?
Yes, we have witnessed a number of cases in respect to that. There are some teachers who usually come to our institute and to tell us that they are efficient, and whenever we conduct assessment, we see that their levels are below the standards.
Okay.
But what has to be done, I think there should be a system set up to investigate cases. That is to say, like the Ministry of Education has to adjust some measures where if a teacher comes and says that he is a proficient English teacher, there should be a level of assessment to attest to the teacher's ability before putting the teacher into the classroom.
Okay, so let's come back to ALM. Okay, are there any scholarship or financial aid options available for students?
IAM is a profit institute, but we also use cost leadership as a means to reduce our fees so that everybody can have access to education.
Like it starts with how much? Let's talk numbers.
Right now our fees is 300,000
per month.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we have classes 5 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does the students respond? Like, are they serious with classes or?
Yes, our students are serious based on the quality performance we have in store in our institute.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for individuals who are hesitant, to start learning English as a second language?
I encourage hesitant people to create self-motivation to learn English. The reason is that English has become the paramount language of transaction and employment globally.
Yeah.
And how can our listeners get in touch with your institution to learn more or to enroll in your programs?
My message to everyone out there is that English language education creates a lot of opportunities. For example, easy access to employment, travel opportunities. By learning English will enable people to communicate effectively with people from the outside world, and this can also create a lot of opportunities for them in the future.
Okay, like Bill in Guinea. Okay, you have a question.
Like I would like to know what makes what is that thing that will make clients to leave other schools and go to your school particularly?
I think what distinguishes schools is what we call quality. When quality is performed in an institution, then their work comes in the competition. So our competition here is to install quality in our system where students will learn efficiently. With the efficiency being learned,
quality like what?
Quality performance. Our system, like the process by which we give out our courses, our instruction process.
Okay.
So when we distinguish ourselves in that, for example, when it comes to the pronunciation aspect, we are saying that
the phonetics.
Yes, the phonetics. We are the only institute that specializes in such area.
Okay.
So when our students leave and we see that they become a testimony out there, that it also encourages people to come and receive what others have already received.
Okay, you being in a French-speaking country, for example, are there challenges you go through for you to, get students?
Yes, there are a series of challenges. For example, many people lack self-motivation, and this one can easily be done by engaging people. For example, going out there, meeting people, and encouraging them about the importance of English.
Okay.
There are many people who know the importance, but they lack the motivation, and some people also lack the financial means to attain education. So sometimes we encourage them to come, and we tell them we are going to find solutions. You can start classes, and maybe later you can find means to at least pay fees.
For how long you can teach someone who,
okay, you can go on.
For how long you can teach someone who doesn't know anything about English, who wants to learn quickly? How long will it take for someone to start speaking English, for instance?
The process of learning, it depends. every side has to give what we call its own responsibility. But for us, we can take 3 months to teach somebody who is willing to learn.
Is 3 months enough?
Yes, of course.
Based on the level of the person, or
The level, the seriousness, and the application also.
Okay. We always hear this problem, Bill. Like people always complain in Guinea here, out of the classroom is out of English language. What do you have to say about this?
No, I think this mentality is actually not right.
Okay.
Because there are many students who come at our institute, and the institute is the only place or the only culture within which they are able to speak English.
Okay.
So leaving our institute, they have nowhere else to practice what they have learned. But we see that our institute has created the culture wherein students can have free access to teachers when it comes to communication, advices, and sometimes we have private, or how can I say, extended classes for students who want us to help them in the process of learning. So with the short period of time, we see that our students are capable enough to produce what is needed in our system.
Do you also advise them to use the internet, like to train themselves, or when they have their leisure time?
Of course, we also have our YouTube channel where we encourage our students to go online to watch some of the videos pertaining to grammar and pronunciation, respectively. And we see that they actually follow the process and the instruction we give them.
Okay.
And we are seeing a lot of improvement into the system we are using.
Mr. Pascal, finally, what message would you like to convey to our audience about the importance of English language education in today's world?
I think I've already addressed that question. But
maybe elaborate more on it again.
Yes, the message that no one knows the future. No one knows what the future holds.
Okay.
And what is important, if you are going to school, maybe you are a student, and it's important to also have English language experience. For example, going to school and having maybe a couple of months or a couple of years learning English, this can actually create opportunities in the future. For example, jobs, as I said earlier, or travel for education, further studies, and these opportunities can be realized into our personal lives.
Okay, you guys are being in a French-speaking country, for instance. How do you manage to get the books for the students?
We have our own curriculum that we use to structure our materials.
Okay.
And the materials are printed. We have our printing press, which does the printings of materials for us.
Okay.
And how can our listeners get in touch with your institution, or, if they want to enroll in your programs, what can they do?
Our institute has a Facebook page. We are on all social platforms, and we also have our flyers that are always present at the institute, and even we ourselves, we give it out to people. And we have our billboards that can be used as a medium to reach us.
Okay.
So the telephone numbers and email address are all on the billboard, on the flyers too.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Pascal, for accepting our invitation and for answering to our questions.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
To remind you, before listeners out there, Mr. Pascal is a librarian by birth, a graduate of the University of the People in Business Administration. He serves as the Assistant Director of Studies Affairs and teacher at the Institute of Language and Trade. I call it ELM.
Yes, that is languages and trade.
Okay, so with him we discuss a range of topics related to teaching English, language learning, and of course education. Bill, every good thing comes to an end.
Yeah, well, I will just encourage people to enroll to ELM and learn some English, because, ELM is one of the best.
Of course, ELM is one of the best. Beautiful listeners, is a place where you can go and learn English. Beautiful listeners, this is the end of today's edition of Newsmark. Always a pleasure being with you. Thanks indeed for your company, and you can join us again for another time. Until then, stay good.
Newsmag, une